Yes, good morning, all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's wait a couple of minutes.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yes, good morning, all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks for the confirmation. So, today we are going to start with the Scala language. We are going to get started with our Spark weekend batch with the Scala language only. But why we are going to start with the Scala language? If you ask me, sir, as far as the Spark framework is concerned, what is the main purpose of going ahead with Spark framework? Can anyone please? Why we need to move on with
the
Spark?
data.
Faster processing of data.
Faster processing, very good. So if you look at Hadoop, it is meant for both the storage and processing part of the big data. Storage and processing part of big data. But as you all better know, Hadoop is having some different design level aspects like sequential way of accessing the data, sequential way of reading the data, disk-based processing, followed by top to bottom approach. So because of all these particular reasons, whatever I'm saying, okay, so Hadoop is only going to promise you only certain amount of performance only with respect to big data. To be precise, this model is only good for kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes to an extent of terabytes of the data. If you ask me more than terabytes kind of the data, can't we process using our Hadoop? Yes, we can, but we have to experience good amount of the performance related problems over. So that is the only reason what I'm trying to say here. What I'm trying to say, in order to improve the performance of the processing, with a great performance, if I wanted to do the processing here, we are going to make use of Spark framework. Okay, we are making use of the Spark framework here. So what exactly Spark framework is all about? So it is a in-memory cluster computing framework to process the data, to process huge volumes of different varieties of data with a great velocity. Meaning with a great performance. So that is what the main beauty of Spark framework. It is only meant for processing part of the data. It is no way concerned about the storage. Okay, let me write that important point. Spark is only meant for processing of big data, but not meant for storage. Okay, so then, like if at all you have to process some data within our Hadoop, where exactly from which storage system it is reading the data and writing the data? Can anyone, if you know the answer? HDFS, very good, sir, very good. So in the similar way, if Spark has to do the processing, you are saying it doesn't have any proprietary storage system, just like in Hadoop, HDFS, Hadoop distributed file system we are having. In the similar lines, for Spark, from where it is going to read the data, where it is going to write the output data. Yeah, look at here, 1 minute. So if you look at, this is what our Spark processing, for example. Okay, so it is going to read the data either from local file system or a relational database table or a NoSQL table, even Hadoop distributed file system, or from the cloud storage system. So this is what it has been reading. Okay, so here, and it's going to write the same kind of the output data there. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to call it as local file system, LFS. It might be a relational database table, RDBMS table, or it might be a Hadoop distributed file system, or it might be a NoSQL database, or it might be some AWS or Azure or something. Even from GCP also. Just an example I'm writing, as these two are the major giants I'm writing here. And in the similar way, here if you look at NoSQL DB, here it is going to be cloud systems, cloud storage systems. And it might be a local file system, or it might be some relational database table, or a NoSQL DB. So it can read the data from any of these particular places, reading and writing. But the very important point is, sir, can any one of you, from a relational database table only, we have to read the data to our Hadoop distributed file system. What component am I going to use over there? Scoop. Very good. Yeah, so here, if at all I want to read the data from any live streaming application to our Hadoop HDFS, what component we are going to use over?
Bloom and Kafka.
Bloom and Kafka. So unlike those particular external tools, here Spark, if at all it has to read the data from local system, a relational table, HDFS or anywhere else, the beauty of Spark is it is not expecting any third-party tool, any extra tool. Directly it is reading the data from any of these source systems without the need of any integration tools. And after processing, it is going to write the output data also to any of these particular targeted systems. So that's where the beauty of Spark here. So it is not expecting any integration tools in between. Okay, so this is how Spark is going to read. And this is another important point. Here we don't require any kind of the third-party tools. Storage is going to be, Spark does not have any proprietary storage. It has to read the data from any of these particular systems and write the data also to any of these particular systems. Spark does not have any storage system. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so if you want to just take a snapshot. Okay, so now the point is it is only meant for processing part of the data. It doesn't have any storage on its own. So something like, but how exactly we are going to process the data in Spark in the in-memory model? We need definitely the support of certain languages. So these are the 4 compatible languages what we are saying. Second one is Python. Third one is R language. Fourth one is Java language. So these are the 4 compatible languages to drive the Spark processing. Okay. Compatible languages for Spark processing. So these are the different languages. So that is why, the very first one itself is Scala. So in order to drive the Spark processing, the channel, the medium is going to be Scala only. That is the only reason now we are going to get started with the Scala language. It is not as a full stack developer of Scala we are going to explore. Rather, within our Spark, as one of the medium, we are using Scala to write our processing logic or to develop our processing logic. That is where we are exploring Scala language. Hope you are clear with the interconnectivity here. Okay, sir. So till this part, any questions? Till this part, any questions? Okay.
No, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to start with the Scala language now. If I directly keep the heading Scala and starting the same, you may get confused why he is going to discuss Scala language. So this is what the exact relationship between Scala and Spark over here. Yeah. So when I say Scala, it is an acronym, sir. First of all, Scalable. SCA stands for Scalable. LA stands for language. Scalable language. Okay. So every programming language is having its own basic constructs. Meaning to say, when I say C language, what type of the language it is, sir? Can any of you please? What type of the language it is? No issues. I will only tell. Procedural oriented programming language. POP. Procedural oriented programming language. C++. Object oriented. Yeah, sorry. Object oriented programming language. In the similar lines, when I say Java, it is a pure object oriented programming language, and followed by C#. It is also object oriented programming language. When I say Python, so even though here we have the object oriented concepts, we can say it is a general purpose language. In the similar way, when you say JavaScript, it is a functional programming language. So meaning to say, In our C++, Java, C# and so in all the other places, object-oriented programming language, meaning everything in terms of the classes and methods. In object-oriented programming, what we will see, only the classes, within the classes methods, and class objects, meaning class instances. To initiate or to invoke the particular method, we have to create an object of that particular class. That is where object-oriented programming language. Everything with respect to the objects what we are going to create for the particular class. Okay, now in case of functional programming languages, everything will be notated using the functions only. The main heart of this particular programming languages are functions only. When you look at JavaScript or Lisp, you might not have heard about, but it is also the same thing. It is also comes under functional programming, Groovy. Okay, so these are all comes under functional programming languages here. So whatever you are going to say, whether it is a programming object-oriented programming language or functional language, that is how the feature of that particular language. In the similar line, what type of the language our Scala is all about? So Scala is a hybrid language or multi-paradigm language. What does it mean? Because Scala is having features of both object-oriented programming languages and functional programming languages as well. Okay, so why we are going to call Scala is a hybrid language or multi-paradigm language? Because it is having the features of both object-oriented programming features and functional programming features as well. Both of them it is having. That is where it is the multi-paradigm language. Very, very important point. Okay, next. So for example, I wanted to install C language. Do I require any other language support? If you know the answer, please. If I want to install C language on my machine, do I need the support of any other programming language to be installed well in hand? No. I want to install Java language. Do I require any other language?
No.
No. I want to install Python language. Do I require any other language to be installed? No. But when it is coming back to Scala language, to install Scala, any version of Scala, we must have to install Java 1.6 or any higher versions well in hand. But why this peculiar behavior? To install one language, Scala is also one language. Why do we need the support of another language here? Okay, so for installing, you are saying Java language support is required. To learn Scala, do we require Scala Java language support? Not at all. So let me clear it up this point. Sir, both Scala, this is a very, very important point. Both Scala and Java runs on top of JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Okay, so without installing Java, can we get the JVM? No, impossible. Only for getting the JVM, only the runtime environment of Scala only, we need Java installation well in hand before Scala is going to be installed. That's all. That is the only dependency. But when it is coming to the exact processing of Scala, we don't have any dependency. We don't have any dependency on Java. In order to learn Scala, we require Java. That is all a wrong perception. Because Scala is only a scripting type of the language. Here we don't require any Java knowledge. Nothing doing. Okay. Hope you are clear with these points as well. Whatever I have mentioned till now. Okay. Now, sir, and there is one more other perception. People might think of Scala language only got introduced in the market for the sake of Spark processing, Blender. It is not at all correct, because Scala language is a very, very, very ancient language. Meaning, Scala language has been introduced in the market in 2003 by Mr. Martin. I didn't remember. Martin Ordersky, something like. Please excuse me, sir, if the spellings or something is wrong. Martin Ordersky. So he's the person who has introduced Scala language in the year 2003 only. But the Spark framework, it got released in the year 2015 only. So for the sake of Spark framework, Scala language was not introduced. By understanding the advantages of Scala language only, complete Spark framework has been written in the Scala language only. So here we will say Scala is the mother programming language of Spark, because complete, that's it, because the entire Spark framework internally written in Scala language only. So that is what the reason we will say Scala is the mother programming language of Spark. The complete Spark framework itself is written in the Scala language only. That is why in the real world case studies also, more than 60 to 70% of the real-time case studies, people will predominantly use Scala language, the API support, the available classes and everything will be more and more in Scala because of compatibility. So a simple layman example, sir. You know 3 languages, say for example Hindi, English, and Tamil. But in those 3 languages also there is something like a mother tongue will be there. Okay, so for example your mother tongue is, let us say, Hindi. So even though you know English and Tamil also parallelly, everything you will try to correlate or convert into your mother tongue for the easy understanding and all. Am I correct, sir? Is this point clear, sir? Yeah. In the similar manner, in Spark also, as the Scala itself is the mother programming language, so the API support and the number of classes also more and more compared to any other programming languages, whatever we are using. After Scala, recently from the last couple of years, there is a importance, the importance on the NLP, natural language processing, and this particular data analytics has been increased. That is why in the last couple of years only, Python demand is also slowly increased. But from the older days, Scala only the most prominent language as far as Spark has been concerned. After Scala, the next highly used programming language in the outside market is Python. Okay, so that's how it is. Okay, now, so to install our Scala language itself, we require the Java support, JVM support. We already see. What is the official website of this particular Scala? Look at here. I will show you. So here simply I'm saying scala-lang.org. So this is what the official website of Scala, scala-lang.org. If you want to refer anything, you can go and refer here. Scala-lang.org. Okay, fine. Now here itself I will show you. The programming language that just scales with you from small scripts to something it is saying. No, the look and feel is slightly changed. So in the very initial homepage only, we are going to see something like a programming language that will concise both object-oriented and functional programming in one concept. Something like that message will be there. Okay, not whatever it might be. Okay, so if you wanted to install and download this particular Scala language, okay, so these are the compatible operating systems. Either you can install on the Mac OS, Linux and Unix operating system flavor, Windows, and other. So here, in order to install Scala on especially on the Linux operating system, so what are all the different packages that we are going to use here? Okay, so here under download below only we are having all versions. You look at here, all versions. If you can click on the same, all the releases we are going to see. Here the version I'm going to download and install here is 2.11.8. Yeah. Okay, so here because the higher versions is expecting the Java 8 only as a minimum prerequisite, but for this one I can make use of Java 7. Okay, because in my target Ubuntu operating system also we are only having Java 7. If at all anybody is having Java 8 or Java 9, the higher versions also you can install. There is nothing wrong. But here it is not something like we are going to completely explore on the as a Scala full stack developer and all. We need to understand the Scala constructs. That is the only reason we are going to download this one. So here, if you look at Scala-2.11.8.dgz, if you want to install on the Mac OS or Unix, this is what the tarball file what we are going to use. If you are going to install on the Windows, MSI. If you want to install on the Red Hat Linux, RPM, Red Hat Process Manager, multiple archives they have given. So the very first one is this one. I'm going to download this one now. Okay, so the moment I click on this particular file, instantly download process also completed. 27/8/733 only, just now only it has been completed. So it is not asking for any credit card number or debit card number, rather instantly it has been installed. So the meaning is Scala is a open source language. But here, what do you mean by TGZ? So that I will explain, sir. So meaning to say, indirectly it is Scala-2.11.8. Yeah, so .tar.gz. So that is how it will be. So tarball, so it is a 2-level zipping, meaning to say, when you say .gz, you all better know in our Windows we are saying .zip file. In the similar way in Linux we will say the equivalent entity is .gz. Zip file only we will notate like .gz. So that is one level of zipping here. And this one is .tar, meaning to say it is also another level of compression. So it is a 2-level compression. The same file they are being zipping out in the 2-level compression and they are giving it to us. Okay, so It is a two-level compression, .tar.gz. So that is what in brief, what we are going to call .tgz. Okay, .tgz. Okay, yeah, fine. Once it is being downloaded, now where exactly we are going to install? It is a Linux-based, Unix and Linux-based tarball file. We will, in short, we will call it as tarball file. Okay, now, so where we are going to install this one and where exactly we are going to, try this Scala practicals and all, that is all going to be under the VMware workstation. Sir, all of you please look at here. I will explain one thing. So if you look at, I am also using a Windows operating system only here. It is a Windows laptop. Here, Windows 10 only I am using here. Okay, so on top of Windows, what we are doing? On top of Windows only, we are going to install. Sorry, this is the Windows operating system. So this Windows 10 only, we are going to call it as host or physical operating system. Host or physical operating system. Okay, now on top of that, we are going to install some open source tool called VMware Workstation. VM Workstation, meaning virtual machine workstation. On top of the same, we are going to install one more other operating system here. That is none other than Ubuntu 14.04 LTS. Long-term support. That's what the meaning. Okay. So on top of this one, now we are going to install Scala. Scala 2.11.8 I'm going to install. So here your Scala is not running on the Windows operating system, definitely. It is only running on the Ubuntu. Okay, but this entire Ubuntu is being available as a virtual or guest operating system here.
Guest operating system.
Sorry, what is your point, sir? Virtual or guest operating system. So some people might say hypervisor. There is another concept. So something like here also, it is also known as a virtual operating system, but both are been sitting on the same host name, same mission only. Here the advantage is at any point of time, we can very well communicate from Ubuntu operating system to Windows at any point of time. From Windows to Ubuntu also you can communicate very well. Let us say in our laptop only, there are dual booting operating system. Both Windows and Linux have been installed over there. So can you log into both operating systems at the same point of time? Is it possible? Never. If at all you already logged into Windows, if you wish to log into Linux, you have to restart your mission. Now you already logged into Linux and you wanted to log into Windows. Again, you have to reboot your mission. But at the same point of time, you cannot make use of both the operating systems. If there are two physical operating systems installed, that is where the case. But here, only one is a physical operating system here. Other one is a guest operating system. So that is how we can operate both the operating systems here. And what about this VM Workstation? It is a freeware tool. So there is some licensing also attached to it. That's a different story. So here our front office team only will provide you this softwares, VMware Workstation and the Ubuntu operating system, everything they will only provide in the Google Drive to all of you. And I will assist you, I will help you how to install this VMware Workstation, and along with that, on top of it, how do you install this particular Spark and Scala also. That is what I'm going to help you. So as of now, let me open. So if at all VMware Workstation is already installed in your mission, you can go to all prompts here and just VM. Automatically you will get VM Workstation, VMware Workstation. Yeah, clearly we are getting. So let's open this one. Okay, no, it is open. Okay, fine. So now here, this is what the look and feel of our VMware Workstation. Okay, so here there is a home tab. Initially, there is a home tab. If you want to create a new virtual machine, you have to click on this one. If you want to browse the existing virtual machine, we have to use this one. So I'm going to open a new virtual machine. We have already one virtual machine here, the pre-config one. Now I'm going to the same thing, and here in the G drive only under Hadoop underscore something. So this is the image. what we are going to open. This VMX file will be always shown with the 3 square symbols at the beginning. So something like this. So this is the image we are going to browse it. It's already there, sir. Here only. Here the same already opened image only. So minimum memory what you are supposed to use here is to drive our Spark use cases and all. You must have to use minimum to minimum 4 GB of the RAM speed. So, but by default, whenever you browse this image, you will only get with 2 GB. So how do we increase that one or decrease that one? Just click on memory, and here there is a bar. Just click on the memory, then it's very slow. Yeah, so here we can increase this particular decrease or increase this bar starting from 4 MB, 64 GB it is there. So what I'm saying is recommended is 2 GB. It is saying by default it comes with 2 GB. Okay, so here maximum recommended memory is saying is 13 GB, but whatever it might be. So you can increase the, you can minimum maintain the 4 GB. To get the ideal speed, we have to say some 4 GB speed we can maintain over here. Okay, yeah. So once you set, I'm using a bit higher only. So how do we log into this particular virtual machine workstation? So you are supposed to click on power on this virtual machine. You have to just click on power on this virtual machine. So we already there in the Windows 10 physical operating system. Now we are going to a virtual operating system called Ubuntu. So that is where whenever you click on the power button in our laptop also, instantly we will not see the desktop. So 1 or 2 minutes it will load all the DLL files, operating system related files, everything. In the similar way here also it will take a couple of minutes, in order to load all the Ubuntu operating system related libraries. Once that is successfully loaded, then only you will see the authentication page, Ubuntu authentication page. Excuse me. It's taking a bit longer than usual. You just click on remind me later below if any pop-ups are been coming. So it will not take this much of time. Generally in your laptops it will be quite faster, but in my system as multiple images have been there, it is slightly taking more time, but it's not the case. Yeah, after successful loading of the DLL files and all, this is what we can call authentication page. So here we are supposed to use this Gopalakrishna user only. Though we have given the guest session, do not even log into the guest session, because the only reason is password we are not set over here. Only for the Gopalakrishna user only the password is set. After entering the password here in this box, you are supposed to click on enter button from the keyboard, or there you will get a greater than symbol. There also you can click on anything. I will show you. So here what we are going to say, GOPAL@123. So this is what greater than symbol I'm saying. When you click on the same, now once the password has been authorized, I mean whenever you provide the right password, it will get logged into the same system. Okay, yeah. Sir, give me a couple of minutes time. I'll be back. I'll be unmute. I'll be back. Yes, sir. Sorry. Now you can close this one. Yeah, so here terminal will be shown over here. You just click on the terminal on the left hand side, launch editor. So here we are supposed to do the rest of the things at the terminal only. Yeah. So initially the font is very, very low. Okay. So in order to increase the textual font, what we are supposed to do, let me open a text editor. Here text editor also will be available. What is this for this today? Okay, so to increase, it is just like our notepad only in Windows, how we are using the notepad. Similarly, here also text editor. To increase text font, we are going to make use of Control Shift plus plus, something like. By holding the Control and Shift only, you have to click on the plus symbol. Okay, simply Control and Shift, and I'm pressing on the plus symbol. Look at here how the font is getting increased. So this is what it will be. To reduce the textual font here, to decrease the text font, Control minus minus, something like we have to do. Okay, only Control. So I will show you that part also. Control. I'm clicking on the minus symbol. How it has been decreasing, you only just click it here. Okay, yeah. So again, to increase, Control Shift plus plus. Yeah. Now, so sir, before @ symbol here, whatever we are having is nothing but the username. With whatever the username we logged in, that username only will be displayed. Here, Ubuntu is the host name. Okay, so to get this particular information, who am I? This is the Linux command we are using to get the logged in username. Who am I? Next, followed by host name. With what host name we logged in here? Ubuntu is the host name here. PWD, it's not password, sir. Present working directory. Present working directory. Home Gopalakrishna is the current path what we have here. Okay, Home Gopalakrishna. Now, so here, let us say we are creating one directory, sir. mkdir install. Sir, all of you, while you are installing Scala language, you are supposed to create mkdir, sir. Install in the capital letters only. What is the reason for that? In my installation guide, I have given all the instructions, all the steps with capital install directory only. In my case, it's already there. So it will say it's already there. Yeah. So now cd install. I'm going inside the same. Okay, so 1 minute, sir. So here we are going to have, again, I'm coming to the home path. What is the prerequisite for installing Java, sir? For installing Scala, Java. So whether Java is installed here or not, how exactly we will come to know? Java space hyphen version. So in the image, whatever we are going to provide you, same Java 1.7 or 1.8 only will be installed. Java will be pre-installed, and we will give that image only to all of you. So here in my case, 1.7 is been present. Okay. Now in the similar way, when I say Scala space hyphen version, so what is the message that we are getting here? Program Scala is currently not installed. Clearly, you are getting a message. The program Scala is currently not installed. Okay. One more important point. Sir, the moment you are typing Scala command, how exactly you are going to the SQL prompt and down? When you say enter, it will take you to the Scala prompt. Here only we will write all the commands. Okay. So that also we will check it here. The moment I typed on Scala command, so is it going to the Scala prompt? No. Again, the same message we are getting. The program Scala is currently not installed. So the same message we are getting here as well. So now what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to install this one. So cd install. Okay. Yeah. So what you can do, as it is a single node only, you can go back to this particular download folder, and you can see, you can copy this particular Scala tarball file, whatever you have downloaded just now, copy from the Windows. I'm saying, sir, copy here and go back to the GUI. I mean to say here in the GUI, you just click on this briefcase symbol, files. Yeah, go to the install folder here. And here, okay, so already we have the tarball ready. Otherwise, generally what we'll do, right click and say paste. Copy from the Windows machine because it's a single node cluster. But in the real world, in a multi-node cluster, how you will do that one? Yeah, so there we are going to use WinSCP. Yeah, I'm opening the WinSCP app. So Windows to secure copying. That's what the full form, WinSCP. You might heard about FileZilla, WinSCP. So these are the GUI tools to transfer the data from one operating system, Windows, to Linux operating system. Sir, in our Windows only, Yeah, so here Windows operating system related files you are getting here. So from the users my PC documents only all the files. But here right hand side Linux is not been showing. So what is the reason? We have to provide what is the host name of the remote mission, what is the username, password, everything. So to get the IP address of this mission, we are going to use ifconfig. This is the command. Sir, in Windows you will use ipconfig, but here we will use ifconfig. So this is what the IP address. Copy. Now you will go back to this particular file. In the host name only you are saying this particular host name, and followed by username is Gopalakrishna, and password is Gopal@123. So whatever we already entered, Gopalakrishna is the username, this is the password. So when you click on login, we are going to, after it has been authorized successfully, we are going to see the Linux operating system files as well perfectly here. Under the install directory only, you have to copy the files. So you will go back to the desktop. In the C drive only, we have downloads folder something. To go to the backwards, so we are going to use this way. Yeah, under downloads only we will have this particular Scala file, whatever you are saying. So we have to copy and paste something like somewhere else it will be there.
It should be under public downloads.
No, directly here only we have a Scala tarball file. So here also in the install directory we are having this is Scala. Okay, now in order to transfer the same data, either you can hold it, drag it, and then drop it. So it will say already there is the same file, with an override the remote file and also I am saying cancel, why it is unnecessarily required. Otherwise you can say right click and say upload. Okay, when you say upload, so it will say to which path you want me to upload. It will ask you. So either of the way. So from the Windows, how do you transfer the data to the Linux operating system? That is how we are using this WinSCP. In real world, your source system is in the Hyderabad location. You want to transfer the data to a New Jersey node or a Singapore node or a New York node, whatever it is. So it is simply in GUI only drag and drop. That's how it is. Very, very simplified process. But anyway, we are already having the same kind of the tarball file here only. Yeah, let us say LL Scala 2.11.80.tgz file, whatever we have downloaded earlier, the same file here, Scala 2.11.8 tgz file we are already having here. So then what do you mean by installation process here? Okay, we already seen Scala has not been installed here. With the two commands also we got the same message here. Look at here with the two commands also, Scala space hyphen version, we are getting the program Scala is not currently installed. When I'm trying to get into the Scala prompt also, we are getting the same message. Okay, so now, so here what I'm trying to say, the installation process meaning we have to use a command tar space -xzvf followed by this particular command. Here what do you mean by this -xzvf? I will write it here. Yeah, so here -x stands for extract, z stands for zip file, v stands for verbose. Verbose meaning the English meaning of the verbose is in a detailed manner. File format. Extract the zip file in a verbose file format fashion. So that's what the meaning is. Please take down, because going forward also we will use this command tar space -xzvf. How exactly you are extracting the zip file? Here in Linux we have this particular command only we are supposed to use at the command line to extract the same kind of the file. Yeah, so the moment you are saying enter, so the extraction process also completed. So here how exactly we are getting, so let me decrease the font slightly, and then I say LL. Sir, after extracting this Scala tarball file, try to understand. So how do you say this is a file only? The starting letter, if you tell the starting letter for any particular file, any particular name is hyphen, blindly you can say it is a file only. For any particular name, if the starting letter is a hyphen, it is a file. So by extracting this tarball file, we are getting this Scala -2.11.8 directory. The starting letter is D. So it is a scalar directory. We are getting a scalar directory here. Okay. So if you go inside scalar directory, now here inside we are having a bin directory and lib directory, everything. If you go inside the bin directory, here we are having two particular executables. One is Scala. Earlier I have used this Scala command only very well. So that Scala executable here only. So every time coming back to this particular bin directory of Scala install path and all, it is difficult. If I know the path, I will come. But if I don't know the path, how can I come? That is the challenge. So what I am supposed to do in any path in the entire Linux system, from any path, if I want to trigger the Scala command, we have to add this particular bin directory to the path variable. There is something like a global path variable. Okay. So people, whoever know already how to add the path and home path in the environmental variables in Windows. Something like here also, to add this particular bin directory only to the global path, we are supposed to add it in the bash RC file. So I will just throw a light on the bash RC. What is bash RC file? Yeah. So it is the first configuration file, which will get loaded along with operating system. It is the first configuration file which will get loaded along with operating system. So that is where in this particular bash RC file only we are supposed to add this home paths. But how do you open this one? It is available in the home path only. .bash RC // .bash RC. So this is how we are going to open this particular file. So let me show you that part. So where exactly our Scala is being installed? In this particular path only, and in the path variable we have to add the bin directory. This is the path: home Gopalakrishna install Scala-2.11.8. Okay. Now Nano. So Nano is one of the editor to open the files or to create a file. VA editor, Nano. You can use any one of them. Tilde operator // .bash/rc. Yeah, Scala is already been installed here. You can see just now I've seen. Yeah, it's already been added over here. Look at the path Scala_home. We are getting home Gopalakrishna install and then Scala. So this is where so this is where home Gopalakrishna install Scala-2.11.8, and the bin directory we have been adding to the Scala home path only, $path and Scala home and bin directory. This is what we have been adding. So if that is the case, okay, now you can go to any path. This is the root path, sir. Whatever we are saying, root path. Last time we have seen when I typed the command Scala space -version, what is the answer we got? The program Scala is not currently installed, but now, yeah, we are perfectly getting the Scala runnable version is 2.11.8. Perfectly we are getting. And the second one is the moment I type the command Scala, it is taking you to the Scala prompt only. So both the commands are working fine. Whatever from wherever we came, the program Scala is currently not installed. From that stage, we are perfectly getting the Scala version and we are getting the Scala prompt as well. So this Scala prompt only, technically speaking, we can call this prompt only, we can call REPL, REPL REPL. What is the full form? Read, evaluate, print loop. Sorry, print loop. But here one important point, in image whatever we are going to provide, Scala is already installed over there. You need not to follow all these steps, whatever I have explained. But if at all you would know the process, how do we install Scala language on the mission, then only it is quite helpful. Okay. And on top of this, in the next set of the materials, I will also give you how to install Scala on your mission. If at all you are supposed to install a different version, whatever it is, I'm giving you the installation guide as well. How detailed it is going to be, I will just show you. Look at here. Scala 2.11.8 installation guide. Yeah, so this is where we are downloading the Scala tarball file. Copy the tarball file to the install directory. Then we are supposed to execute this command, whatever I have explained already. From the Scala tarball file only, we are going to see the Scala directory. Yeah, I have clearly shown here. Every command, the screenshot. In the bash RC file, just now whatever we have added to get the file Scala prompt command in any place. Okay, so now we are just showing the echo path and all. So then after that, when you type the command Scala, we are getting into the Scala prompt. So all these commands I have given. Now how do you come out of this Scala prompt? :Q. Now you will come out :Q. Okay, yeah. So not only that, all the remaining commands, some basic commands also have given here to know what is the installed version of Scala to come out of the Scala prompt. So this is all the comments, and other things also are given over here. So are you clear with this installation procedure, sir? All of you, whatever we have done?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but you need not to install this one. It has been already installed in the image what we are going to provide. So again, I'm going to the Scala prompt, and the very first message, print, I'm saying hello Scala. The moment you say enter, you are getting hello Scala with 3 dots here. Yeah, so now here the same message with print ln I'm going to provide. Print and print ln. So what is the difference here when I say print ln? So hello Scala message will be printed, and one more extra empty line is coming. Here there is no empty line, but here we are getting the empty line only. After hello Scala, we are getting the empty line only here. That is what the basic difference between print and print ln. Both are allowed in our Scala. Okay, yeah. Next, sir, how do we declare the variables in Scala? Sir, either we are going to use var stands for variable, or we are going to use val. Val stands for value. What's the difference between var and val? So here when I say var, it is a mutable entity. Mutable entity, meaning at any point of time we can change that particular value. That is what mutable entity. Okay, when I say val, it is a immutable entity. Immutable entity. Okay, so we cannot change that one. At any point of time we can change the value. Immutable meaning non-changeable value. That's what the meaning. Okay, so here we are simply saying var x is equals to 10. Okay, so the actual signature of the variable declaration is var or val. We are going to specify, then followed by variable name colon data type is equals to corresponding value. Var or slash val, variable name colon data type is equals to corresponding value. That's how we are going to present. Okay, so example, var x colon int is equals to 10. Var x colon int is equals to 10. Okay, yeah, so here var here we are using x is a variable name, data type is equals to what is the value 10, semicolon is only optional, something like. Okay, so this is the actual signature. Now, so here when I'm saying var x colon int is equals to 10, so I will discuss about this data types in a while. Now, so you are getting x colon int is equals to 10. So now again, without saying var or val, I am trying to say x is equals to 20, meaning to say, try to understand. So initially we are going to say in the memory only, this is the x variable. We are initially using the 10, but in place of 10 only, now you are trying to say 20. So you are going to override this particular value and you are going to assign 20 here. Okay, so if that is the case, I mean in the physical address only, in place of 10 only, we are going to assign 20. But x is being the mutable entity, var only. It is a var, nothing but mutable entity. Okay, so that's where we are going to change that value. So here, 1 minute, sorry. Print x. What is the value you are getting as of now? What is stored in the variable x? 10 only. Now x is equals to, I am trying to say 20. Now again it is taking x colon it is equals to 20. If I say print x, now it has been changed. It has been changed. So 20 we are getting, meaning as it is a mutable entity, at any point of time we can change the value associated with an object, with a particular variable. So it's a clear evidence. Okay, so this is what is going to be with respect to variable. Okay, now coming back to val. So here also as an example, what we are trying to say, val some y colon int is equals to some 50 initially. Okay, so sorry, I'm writing here. Yes, so here val, here I'm not using var, sir. Var meaning variable, here value, val, y colon int is equals to 50 initially. Now, without saying again val or val, if I'm trying to say y is equal, okay, print y, we are getting as 50 only here. Okay, now y is equals to, I'm trying to assign 60 now. So is it possible? Throwing the error, meaning here if you look at here only, this is y. Now already 50 is there. Okay, you are trying to override this particular data with a new value. I'm going to assign, in place of 50 only, I'm going to assign 60. But is it going to be possible, sir? When I'm trying to say 60, is it going to be possible? Not at all. What is the reason for this one? It is an immutable entity. In the immutable entities, we cannot change that particular value. So that is what a clear evidence here. We are getting y60, reassignment to val is not possible. Reassignment to value is not possible. Still, if you say print y, that 50 only be there. You cannot reassign it to 60 here. So that is what the basic difference between variable var and value val. Sir, is everyone clear now? But in order to declare any variable in our Scala, either you have to say var or val only. You must have to tag either var or val. Okay, now here only, sir, you are trying to say where some particular x is equals to 100. But here I'm not using any data type. Earlier what I told, if you want to declare any variable, here you have to say x colon data type is equals to some value. That's how we are going to assign the value. But here I'm not giving any particular data type. But still, if I say we are getting x colon int is equals to 100. If I say where x colon int is equals to 100, this is the actual syntax. Whether you are using the actual syntax or without giving the data type also, this colon int is missing here. But still we are getting the same answer, either here or here, we are getting same answer. So this particular concept, without providing any data type details, if you are getting the value, that is known as type inference. It's a very, very important question, sir. So I will write it here. What is a scalar type inference? In the variable declaration of scalar, even though we are not supplying the data type specific information, Scala will automatically recognize corresponding data type based on the right hand side value. This is known as type inference. Yeah, please take it down, sir.
Will it also recognize the precision level, sir?
Precision level meaning?
I mean, if it is a double offload, something like that.
Anything, whatever, so that's what I'm introducing now. So what are the different data types here? Yeah, so it will always do stats with the camel case, meaning integer, meaning you are not supposed to write some int or something like this or capital int. No, it is not allowed. Only capital I int. First letter should be the capital letter. Double, float, long, character, string, boolean, something like these are the primitive data types what we are using in our Scala. Okay, so the very first one, where a colon integer is equals to some 40. This is the actual signature. The type inference signature is, even though you are not supplying the data type, automatically based on the right hand side value, it is giving you the corresponding value, corresponding data type also. The right hand side value is 40 here. That's why a colon int we are getting. Now, where b colon string. So string meaning always it will be enclosed in the double quotes only. What is the value you are enclosed in the double quotes? That's a different story. But if something is there in the double quotes, it will automatically get it. So I'm writing but as the right hand side value is enclosed in the double quotes, now it will perfectly take it as a string only. Okay, now where C colon char is equals to, sir, whenever you are saying character, only one particular letter only you have to keep, that in the single quotes. That is the notation of a character. Yeah. So though you are not saying, where D colon double is equals to any precision value, if you are going to provide, by default it will consider it as a double only. Okay, yeah. So please take it, sir. I will clear the screen. Yeah, where some particular E colon float is equals to, sir, I'm giving in the similar way, but it will throw the error. What is the reason? To indicate it is a floating point number. So you look at the type mismatch, found double. It is treating scalar by default, treat this one as a double, but required float. So how do you notate it is a floating point number only? Either capital F or small f you have to attach, then only it will take it as a floating point number, otherwise no. Okay, so this is how it has been taking. F should be there. Now where some G colon long, it is taking normally, but without providing that particular long, there is a threat. What is that threat? It is treating as an integer only, but how do you define that it's a long type of the value? Simply here L you have to notate. So even though you are giving actual data type, so there also you can specify L, nothing wrong. So L stands for long, then always it will take it as a long type of the data type only. So for float and long there is a slight change. I mean, you have to mention F and L. True, something like only true and false values only allowed in case of Boolean. Even if you are saying false also, it will recognize as a Boolean type of the data type only automatically. Okay, yeah. So let me stop the session here, because as it's a first session, I don't want to bombard with all the things. And of course, I need to talk to the new people also. Sir, whoever only came today, you please stay back. Rest all you can drop off, sir. You can log off, and we will continue with our next session on next Saturday. Okay.
Sir, one thing, do we have something like to check the type of the variable, like in Python?
Python, we will use some type kind of the function, so that is not available directly here. No.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Sir, this data types are case sensitive, or the Scala language?
Absolutely case sensitive. That's why I clearly mentioned just now. Always it starts with a capital letter, rest all small letters. You look at here, the starting letter only capital here. Exactly, we have to follow in the similar manner, camel case notation.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Sir, whoever only came today, you please stay back. Rest all you can drop off, please.